Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. Welcome to the Shet Show, Abundance Conversations. My name is Sherletta Germain. I go by Shet. I'm here today. My co-part, my right hand, my first responder is not able to join us today. And so we are meeting with the lovely Giselle Curiel. And so I'm so sorry. I'm being a little bit rude because I've gotten some things written down. Y'all know how I can be sometimes when it comes to running my mouth. And so because I do that, I create these things. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense pleasure and admiration that we welcome Giselle Curiel to the Shet Show, Abundance Conversations. Giselle's extraordinary journey from her beginnings as a phlebotomist to her remarkable transformation into a credit restoration expert and a visionary entrepreneur is nothing short of inspirational. Giselle's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the pursuit of financial stability, and the unwavering commitment to her family. Her determination to provide a better life for her children led her on a path of continuous learning, adaptation, and resilience. Today, Giselle is not only an expert in credit restoration and debt elimination, but also a beacon of hope for those seeking financial empowerment and freedom. Her company, Curiel Financial Services and Credit Services, stands as a testament to her dedication for helping others achieve their financial goals and overcoming their challenges. So today, please welcome as we dive into Giselle's journey, exploring her remarkable story and the insights that she has gained along the way. Her wisdom, determination, and passion for financial empowerment are sure to inspire and uplift our audience. Giselle Curiel, we are honored to have you on today as our guest from the Shet Show Abundance Conversations. I cannot wait to speak with you today. How are you, beloved? Welcome to the show. Why don't you go ahead and let me mic down and tell us who you are in your own words, where you hail from, and what brings you to the show today. Giselle, the mic is yours.
Wow. For a minute, I thought you were presenting somebody else. Thank you for having me here. And it's an honor to be part of your show. It's definitely an honor to be here. And I have to say, wow. Thinking about how we met and where we are definitely doing great things. Like you shared before, my name is Giselle Curiel. I started my journey as a single mother, happily married now. But I started my journey as a single mother. And I remember meeting you years and years ago. In the healthcare industry. We both used to do kind of the same work. But I do remember seeing in you someone that I can look up to, professional, focused in what you were doing. And I was like, wow, there's something about that girl. That day that I met you, I would never forget it because it led me to believe that I could do better, that I could scale up. And that's exactly what I've been doing since then. Coming from being a phlebotomist, working in hospitals, working doing biometric screenings, traveling. Wow, it was hard. It was hard as a single mom. I always say I was in a position where I did not like the money that I was making because I always felt like it was not enough. I always felt like it doesn't matter how much money I make, I'm always in need of more money because I can't cover not even my bills. The second thing that I did not like, I used to hate the fact that I was always gone. And the third one was that my life, it was in somebody else's hands because they were the one determined how much money I was going to bring home, how much time I was going to spend with my kids. So just the fact that I couldn't manage my agenda, I couldn't be there for my kids, and I couldn't provide the way I wanted, it was like, wow, I need a change. That's where I was when I found that journey. And there was a moment that I'll share later on today that kind of opened my eyes. And I said, I need something different. I need to be a present mom. And I tell you what, sometimes during our struggles, we lose our faith. But there's always going to be someone by your side that is going to bring that light that you need. So I'll begin by saying, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, listen to the people that God brings to your life, because they can definitely give you that something that you're looking for. And that's where everything started, really.
Giselle, you brought back some nostalgic memories, and I remember when we had to set up those little curtains. Remember those privacy screens? And I used to struggle so much with those privacy screens. And you just always seemed to be the little fairy godmother that would go around and you guys, you got this, you okay, you okay, you okay. It was always something about you as well that that inspired me to be brighter, be better. But this is not about me, right? I've got this biography that I want to read, and I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to read it. I'm not led to read it now, but I do want to read it before we leave the show. I think I'll read that to wrap up the show. So Giselle, your journey as a mompreneur, we talked about that a little bit. You specialize in healthcare and generational wealth, is a truly inspiring story. Tell us about a specific moment when you yourself faced a tough challenge, and what motivated you to keep pushing forward. It's not easy, right? We were 1099 workers. And so for those of you that don't know what 1099 workers are, it's just not exactly an entrepreneur, but it's definitely not an employee, right? We are able to create our own schedule and our own hours. But with the fluctuation of that comes the fluctuation of finances, right? So in that journey, transitioning from working for someone versus not, tell us about a time that you faced, some tough times where you thought, is this the path for me? Should I go back to work? And how did you divert from that thought process to become who you are right now? Giselle, the mic is yours.
As you elaborating the question, I'm here thinking, I'm like, I had so many moments when I felt like, should I find another job? Should I go back to the screenings? Or should I just continue doing what I'm doing? And I have to say, when I was working in healthcare, I was the one that it was always willing to go the extra mile. I was always willing to help someone with what they needed. And I think because I was eager to help, I was always there looking for what else can I do? How can I be better? I learned from my young age that in order for you to succeed in something, you need to become better every day. If you're not bettering yourself, you're dying. So this is something that my mother taught me from my early age. And but I remember one night I came home. It was about 10 o'clock at night. And I was so discouraged because I knew I was giving my all, but I found someone in my way who didn't have my best interest. And I felt like I need to find something else to do. Like I need to leave this path. And this is when I was working as a 1099. And I was so discouraged. Like I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to show up the next morning, to be honest. I did not. I was like, this is it. This is it for me. I'm just going to go back to the hospital where I was getting paid it wasn't minimum wage, but it was way less money than what I was making in the health screenings. And I remember coming home and finding a note from my daughter. I found a note on the table that said, "Mommy, we love you. Come to our room when you get here." And I had to sit down and think and reevaluate what I was doing, because I was putting too much time into working for someone else, even though I was working as a 1099. And I felt like I had control over my finances and everything. I already mentioned that I felt like the money's not enough. I'm never home. So this little note from my daughter, it was like, wow, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm paying the bills, and I know the listeners can relate to this. I'm paying the bills, I'm making it happen, but I'm never there. And in top of that, right now, I'm discouraged because I feel like they're taking me for granted. Like they don't even care that I'm giving so much and I'm taking so much away from my children and my family. And that night, I was like, I need to do something different. I need to start looking into something different. And I remember I had someone reach out and asked me if I wanted to start, because I was fixing my credit with a company at the time. And I remember this gentleman had already asked me if I wanted to, join part-time and do this on the side. And I was like, well, maybe that's the way. I started praying that night for something different. And alone today, you're gonna learn exactly what happened, because it was life-changing what I was able to do when I sat down that night and I was able, because sometimes we leave like on the go and we don't sit down and analyze, what am I doing? What am I changing? What am I missing? And the moment that you sit down and you're able to analyze all of that, that's when you're able to make a different decision. So I invite all of you today to sit down and analyze what you're doing. It's scary. It was scary for me that night, but that was a moment of change when I was able to make to make another decision that led me to today.
Wow. If LP was here, I can hear him now. He'll have another question to spin off from that. I wanted to name the title of the show. The reason that I wanted to name the title of the show, Building Generational Wealth Through Healthcare and Financial Freedom. And behind the scenes, you and I had a conversation about that. I think I play too much sometimes, but I think I have intentions for why I do things. But here's what I'll tie this into, and then you'll see why it makes sense. We spend so many hours, as you just stated, sometimes working for someone. Sometimes we neglect even the self, right? Which leads us to sometimes psychotropic medication or medication to control our heart rhythm or our blood pressure. Our cholesterol numbers are crazy, right? We're overweight. We're not sleeping. We're not hydrated, right? And then the stressors of the financial burden. So if you're working 60, 70, 80 hours, you're making the money, but you don't have time to enjoy it because you've invested all of this time in another person's company, right? In another person's vision, in another person's business. And when you do have the time off, you feel so crappy that you don't want to do anything on your days off, right? Nothing to do with your own business and your own plan, whatever vision that you have for your life or your children. It does not give you that work-life balance. Having a conversation with traveling in healthcare, which is what I was doing when you and I met. I was kind of at the height of my traveling career. Probably not. I think I did some major traveling after that for a company that kept me from state to state. I was probably traveling 70% of the time. The money was great, but I didn't get a chance to really raise my children after going through a divorce myself. So my question to you is, when you're thinking about how health is wealth, right? When we have a healthy credit report card, it allows us to have certain leverage to do certain things, right? But when we have poor health or we have a bad health year, and you add the finances on top of it, it can really become problematic. So my question to you is, because credit restoration is crucial for financial success, but it can sometimes be overwhelming, what advice would you give specifically to single mothers, and anyone that might be struggling with income, but specifically for single mothers who are eager to take control of their financial destiny and never give up, even when the odds are stacked up against them, Giselle, what would you say?
Well, I think one of the reasons why we can find ourselves on financial difficulty most of the time, I'm going to say most of the time, is because we are not educated in that area. Like when you go to school, they teach you how to add and subtract and multiply, but they don't teach you financial literacy. So one of the things that really helped me change the environment was educating myself. So that would be the first one. Educate yourself. If you don't know about something, go on the internet. You'll find it. If you search about whatever it is that you feel that you need help with, you will find it. It is amazing how now schools are adding financial literacy into their programs. They are adding that. Why? Because this is what's killing us. And I remember as a single mom not being able to even put a budget together. I was like, how do you do a budget? People kept talking about, oh, you need to budget your money so you can do more with it. I was like, how do you do a budget? Did you just write down everything you have to pay? No, that's writing down what you have to pay. Doing a budget is being able to control what's coming out and what's going in, So educating myself was the first thing that I was able to do, able to realize I needed to do as a single mom. The second thing that I would say is very important is surround yourself with the right people. And I'm going to repeat that. Surround yourself with the right people. You'll be amazed of how much your finances can change when you do this. And I think I'm going to go a little deep and a little hard with what I'm going to say. But if in your circle of friends, everyone that comes along is talking about partying and is not talking about investing and saving and becoming better and being a professional in what you do, you need to change your circle. And this is something that I did. You would find if you look, I don't know, on my social media, you will find me always around trainings, around Zooms where they're talking about money and learning how to make, your life better and learning how to grow mentally, working on myself. So that would be the second thing. And I'll add a third one. If you do not know how to do what you need to do with your money, find professional help. Find professional help. Because a professional is going to put hours into learning the right way of doing things. A professional is not, it might reinvent the wheel to make it easier for you. And if you look for professional help, the professional is going to give you steps to follow. Instead of going here and there and see if it works and coming back and going back forward, if you find professional help, you're not gonna waste time and money. The professional is going to tell you exactly what to do. So that would be the three things that I would suggest today. Educate yourself about what you don't know, because you can be better if you don't know how to be better. That was one. Two, surround yourself with the right-minded people. And number three, find professional help. Find someone that knows how to do it, that proves that knows how to do it. Not the one that is talking about, I know how to, because we all have people in our lives that would say that, I don't know, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about someone in my family that everybody used to go to him because he was the one that knew about credit and about finances. And when I think about it, I'm like, I was one of them that used to go to that person. But now that person is coming to me for advice. So obviously, once again, analyze yourself. Analyze what you're doing. It starts there. When you start analyzing what you're doing and making better decisions daily.
Well, we're just putting our toe in this little abundance conversation water that we have here. And if you just joined us, this is the Shet Show, Abundance Conversations. We're a brand new podcast that just kicked off. Actually, it's a production that kicked off August the 11th. So we've been in not quite 60 days. I told Giselle I was going to throw in her biography at some point, and I wasn't sure when I was actually going to give it. But I think this reset is certainly a segue into reading her bio. For those of you that are listening to us for the first time, I'd like to say welcome. And for those of you that are returning, joining us, I'd like to say, y'all already know I'm going to do my best to be professional. But if, a little joke pops out here and there, charge it to my heart and then I'll move on. However, today we're meeting with the credit, finance, and debt elimination expert, Giselle Curiel. Giselle Curiel's life journey is a testament to unwavering determination, resilience, and the pursuit of a better future. Born in the Dominican Republic, Giselle embarked on her life's path at the age of 9 when she, along with her visionary and entrepreneurial mother, made the courageous move to New York City in search of a brighter future and financial stability. Sorry, the dog's barking. Let me just let you answer the next question, Giselle, and I'll tap right in to the next one. Well, being bilingual is a valuable skill, even in urban communities. How has your ability to speak both English and Spanish helped you connect with and empower single mothers and families in your community? And please forgive me, we've got maintenance doing some work over here this morning, so I'm going to mute. So I want to respect the airwaves. Okay.
All right. Well, being bilingual has helped me because I'm able to help people that only speak Spanish and people that only speak English. But I always like to say, regardless of the language that you speak, there is always something that you can give to your community. I think the fact that I'm bilingual lets me reach out more people. But if you're not bilingual and you're here tonight, let me tell you, you don't need to be bilingual to change your community and to help people around. All you need to do is want to learn and want to be different and want to educate yourself and bring value. If that's your goal, you're going to be able to change some life. And that's definitely the goal that I have. I remember growing up, like you mentioned, I grew up with a mother, a single mom. And I remember seeing my mom working so hard, and it was a struggle for her when she had to communicate with someone because she didn't know the language. She didn't speak English. She could understand it, but she didn't speak it. So seeing the struggle in my mom let me think that I could do something about it. So right now I'm an advocate for people that don't speak the language, because we have so many people, so many immigrants here that don't speak, they don't speak English. They don't even understand it. And because they don't understand the language, it's hard for them to understand how to manage themselves financially. So that's one of the goals that we have in Curiel Financial Services. Like, we work with people that speak only one language, but at the same time, we are able to help everyone that comes along, regardless of if they speak Spanish or not, or if they speak English or not.
Language barriers can often be problematic. You and I spoke about that before we started in the recording. And sometimes when you have to add that to a layer of already learning about the percentages and what this means versus that, you have to allocate certain amounts to this. And God forbid, if you're wanting to work on your credit while you're wanting to start a business, you're really in a whole nother ball game as far as the language in and of itself. But once you understand the language and you become fluent in what credit restoration and credit repair is and how credit works, and developing a relationship with money, right? This is a mindset. This can't be you just wanting to improve your credit because you've gotten a couple of things, you've had a couple of hiccups along the way. Having a relationship with money and understanding what abundance really means, that it's not necessarily tied into a dollar amount, right? But if you have a poor relationship with money, you're going to have a poor output of where that money goes. Your mindset it doesn't work the way that it needs to work to bring in those financially free moments, because you're upset and tight about how money works. Mostly, like you said, because of the lack of education, we don't know how to make money work for us. We're going out to work for money, and then we expect that paycheck to be able to solve the world's problems. But creating, like you said, those relationships with people that are around us that can educate us in those spaces that we don't know, that want us to be better, that want us to improve, that are having the right conversations where we're able to actually scale and grow not only our own lives. We didn't talk about this, but I did see this somewhere, the home ownership. Right. You all, and this is your plug, right? This is all about you. So I'm all about plugging. I'm saying I'm going to be the podcast plug. I want to see if I can trademark that, putting that in the ethers. However, but my job is to make sure that I make you shine. So we've talked about home ownership programs that you've had through Curiel Financial Services. This isn't just about restoration. We want to be able to prepare you for whatever, if you're needing a personal guarantee for a business, right? If you're wanting to purchase a home, for a single mother that has absolutely no idea where to work, say she's been at her job for 2 years, she's got, she's able to afford where she stays. What kind of services would you want to offer someone to be able to, you're positioning them to go somewhere? I'm assuming it's not just you're repairing their credit and then you're saying bye-bye. So let paint a little bit more of that picture. I need you to put some more orange and blue and purple on your canvas. I want you to tell me about what you do and why it's important that people reach out to you. Giselle, the mic is yours.
Okay, so people ask me, usually people reach out to me because they need their credit fixed, because they want to buy a home, they want to buy a vehicle. But I always take the time to explain to people that your credit is going to be affected depending on how you manage your finances. I can fix your credit today. I can help you get your credit right today. But if your finances are not in place, your credit is going to be affected again. So with that being said, our services are a pool where you can choose and pick what you need. And we have in there something for everyone. So within our services, we have the credit restoration. But while we're working on your credit, we also help people lower the monthly bills. What bills? Your light, your water, your cable, your phone, any bills that come monthly. We're going to help you lower those bills. We also work with getting your taxes right. We have tax experts on that area. I don't do that part. I have experts that work in each area to negotiate your monthly bills, to look into your taxes, to make sure you don't leave any money on the table, to look at your W-2, because guess what? When you fill out the I-9, when you get a new job, the people that work in HR know nothing about taxes. And they look at the form and say, yes, you filled out your form right. There's something on every line. And it's not about that. It's about having that form filled out correctly so you can bring more money home. It's amazing how I ask my clients, I say, you know what? Go ahead and send me 2 of your pay stubs so we can send it to the experts on that area, to our CPAs, so they can check it. And we get an instant pay raise for them. Why? Because their W-9 had a mistake. So, and this is all included in our services. Another reason why people reach out to me, and if I be honest with you, it's not even credit restoration, it's debt elimination. This is huge. You would be surprised, and I can tell you right now, if I speak to 10 people, 9 of them need help with this area, eliminating debt. And we not only have a debt elimination program that would help you organize those bills so you can save money on interest and leave more money home. Not only that, we also have a program that is a consolidation that is going to help you consolidate those credit cards that you're paying. Now, I need to be clear on this consolidation program, because it's not the consolidation program that you mostly hear out there that ruins your credit while you're doing it. Because usually consolidation, what they do is they take all your credit cards, they assign a payment that you can make, but they stop paying on those cards. And if you don't pay on them, they're going to mark you late, they're going to close your account, and your relationship with that particular bank is going to be ruined. This is not what we do. What we do is a program where we help you lower the interest that you're paying. Yes, the account is going to be closed beginning this program, but you're going to continue paying. And at the end of the road, you're going to have a good relationship with this bank, and you can actually go ahead and reapply for a new account. So it's not a debt consolidation program where we're going to mess up your credit and you're going to be stuck for another 7 years. It's a consolidation program where we're going to lower your interest. I actually have a client that we're working on this week, and this lady interest was 31.99 on a credit card. And we were able to lower that interest to 1%. Just imagine that. You know how much money she's saving on that? That money that she's saving on interest, she can use it to pay towards the principal and get rid of that even quicker. So, if I start talking to you guys about the services that we have and about how we can help student loans, how many people right now are like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got to start making payments. And I don't have money for food, but I got to pay my student loan so I won't be reported and mess up my credit again. We do have within our services experts that will help you put whatever it is that you need together so you can to create a repayment plan and help you lower those interests. So anything that has to do with your finances, we can help. And you did mention that Home Path to Ownership is called the program that we have. This company has been in business for over 40 years, helping the communities in all United States. This is not just here in Florida, all United States, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. So with this program, you do not have to qualify with your credit. We qualify you with your income. And there's a lot more that I can share about that program, but I don't want to take that much time because, like I said, we have something for everyone. With the Home Path to Ownership program, right now we are helping 13 families. This program opened up with us in March. It's a sister company that came together because it's not about putting people on a home with a rent-to-own program. It's helping you go from renting, rent-to-own, to being a homeowner. Most programs will put you in the home and leave you there. And guess what? When that contract ends, because it's a lease what they give you, in all rent-to-own programs, they give you a lease for a certain amount of time on that property. If you cannot qualify to make that home yours, you're going to be kicked out. And what they have found throughout the years is that people would get into the rent-to-own program and then they don't qualify to completely buy the home because they're in the home, the credit went even worse, or they don't have the taxes together, or the income is lower. So what we do is we come along and we help you work through all those things while you are living the home of your dreams, qualified by your income. So, I can give a lot more information, but it would take me hours to talk about this. I'm really excited about this program because there's so many people that are out there throwing 100% of the money in rent when they can be here in a program that is going to help them grow. Because every payment that you make every month for your rent, a percentage of that goes towards your purchase at the end. So it's a great program. I'm really excited about that one. And we have a few more things for people that are ready to invest that I can talk to whoever is interested about. It's great services. This is why I'm attached to this legal department that we work with.
So I have a little smirk on my face. I'm sure Giselle is like, what the heck is so funny, right? Giselle is so modest, and I love you so much for that. I remember asking Giselle to come on the show, and we kept talking about, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And I said, you know what? Find that thing that you're passionate about that you could just go on for hours, and we'll delve into that. And she found her sweet spot in that conversation. I don't know if you guys saw her eyes just kind of lit up, and she was just kind of going in. It's a game changer, right? We are in a recession. People don't like to talk about it. Everything is expensive. Our pay has not changed, right? We have to have solutions. Landlords are becoming slumlords. We sometimes, as a tenant, may not know your rights versus what the landlord rights are. Homeowner purchasing programs, sometimes they can be great and sometimes they can't. The process can be long. It can become really muddy. So having someone like Giselle Curiel of Curiel Financial Services to navigate you through those processes, wherever you are, right? Nobody wants to talk about their credit until they have to deal with it. But how about the single mom that just had a kid that's interested to go to college and she doesn't have anything on her credit? And then she starts getting all of these offers, or he starts getting all of these offers for these credit cards. There's no educational piece that's there, right? They're so excited that, we're getting this $5,000 credit limit, $1,000 credit limit, $5,000 credit limit, and not knowing how to pay that, not knowing how to pay it back, not knowing how much to use, not even knowing what utilization is, right? That's jacking you up. Well, they gave me a $5,000 credit limit, right? I'm going to go and spend the $5,000 and then just pay the minimum amount that's due. I got an extra $5,000. And then it takes you at that interest rate that you talked about. It takes you years to pay that back. Of course, I'm not the expert, but I do have the expert here. And Giselle is actually is going to be a part of our panel. I'm announcing that on the show. I don't know how we're going to insert that with her already busy presidential schedule, but I do need to have her on as an expert. So my last question to you is basically what I said. The person that has no idea what credit is, they just graduated from high school, or maybe their first or second year freshman in college. They're getting all of these offers for credit without any notification, any knowledge of how to be able to handle that. What advice would you give to them? The mic is yours.
Wow. That is, I always say, if I knew what I know now when I was 20, I would be a millionaire, because I would have made different choices. You cannot improve what you don't know. I did mention minutes ago that we need to educate yourself. So the first thing I'm going to say that this particular person that you described needs to do is educate yourself. And I'm going to give you guys some tips that you can use to help, even if you are the person that you describe, or if you're someone that is listening now and is like, but how do I do it with these cards? Make sure you use only, a lot of people out there say 30% of your credit limit. I'm going to say, make sure that before your closing date, and this is a date that you're going to find on your statement, and I'm giving you now something that I give my clients to go by. So grab a pen and paper and write this down. You want to find out what your closing date is. Once you have that date, you're going to make your payments 3 days before the closing date, a few days before. And I'll tell you what, this is going to help you with the usage that you have in your card, with the percentage that you're using. And if you can help it, if you can, just bring down your balance to a 1 or 9%. If you cannot pay off your credit card, bring it down to a 1 or 9% before your closing date. There is a due date that they require you to pay it on, and there is a closing date that you're going to find on your statement. It's not going to be visual because the companies don't want you to know this. Ding, ding. Hello. Anybody listening, they don't want you to know this that I'm sharing. Why? Because the bank's business is to charge you interest for the money that they lending you. And if you pay before your closing day, you don't give them a chance to do that. So make sure that you pay before your closing day and that you lower that balance to a 1 to 9% so your credit score won't be affected. If you keep it at 30 and you have a low credit limit, your points are going to come down because you're using too much, even at 30. And every expert out there is telling you 30. But guess what? If you have a credit card with $500 credit limit and you use 150, which is your 30, you're going to see a difference on your credit. When it's reported, it's going to come down. So with that being said, make sure you pay your cards before your closing date. Because if you pay before your closing date, you're going to save money on interest. You're going to save yourself time and headaches trying to bring your credit score up. And you won't give the banks the choice to determine where you're going to be at when it comes to determining if you are worth it of raising the balance, the credit limit that you have. They do look at that. And one thing that I always tell my clients is your credit is a pie. And I'm going to end with this one. Your credit is a pie. It's like a pie. It has percentages. So you want to make sure that you're using the right percentage of your credit limits on your cards, because that is 35% of your credit. The other 30% is how you pay your accounts. So make sure that you pay on time. One late payment can bring your score 30 to 150 points down. So that 30% is your payment history, is how you pay, is if they reported a new collection. So make sure your accounts are in good standing. The other bigger piece is the type of accounts that you have. Type of account. A credit card is one type of account. A mortgage is another type of account. A secure loan is another type of account. In order for your credit to improve, you need at least 3 to 5 types of account reported on your credit. Student loans is one. Credit cards is another one. A personal loan is another one. A vehicle is another one. So make sure you have at least 3 to 5. And right there, I just cover 85% of your credit. The other 15 is how long you keep in the account open and your inquiries. How many times do you apply? So with that being said, don't close your oldest account. Use them once every 6 months. If it's a credit card and you say, you know what, that credit card interest is too high. Should I close it? Should I keep it? I'm going to tell you, unless you paying an annual or a monthly fee on a credit card, don't close it. Just set an alarm on your phone to use that account every 6 months. Take that card, put gas in your card, and 2-3 days later, go pay it off. Because if you close that card, that oldest card, which is usually the worst one that we have, because the interest is so high, if you close it, you're closing yourself not only credit, whatever you had on the credit limit, but you're also closing time. And then on the other portion, do not apply more than twice every 6 months. 2 applications every 6 months and 3 every 2 years. It takes 2 years to get it off your report. And with that being said, I can give you any information that you need, but I don't think we have the time on the Shet Show. I think the time is running and we need to keep moving with this. There's so much that I can share. You know, this journey has been amazing for me because it has not only taught me how to set myself financially, but also how to help people get to their goals. And that's what I like doing. That's my passion.
Well, Giselle, you have always wowed me, and today was didn't definitely not disappoint. Um, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, all of the viewers, for joining us on this episode of the Shet Show Abundance Conversations. Your support and engagement means the world to us, and we're truly grateful for your time and attention. Today, we've met with the special guest, Giselle Curiel of Curiel Financial Services. This is a debt elimination, credit restoration, all one-stop shop to get you on the road to success and home ownership, if that's your desire, to own a couple of pieces of land, if that's your desire, to start a business, if that's your desire. All roads start at credit. And so, Giselle Curiel, I thank you for bringing the knowledge and the wisdom that you have to the show. We're working on getting a studio, but while we don't have one, sometimes the dog barks, somebody knocks at the door. We just have things that we have to be present for, right? We want to shout out Godbrother LP in his absence. Godbrother LP has actually his own podcast. He's hosting a couple of other podcasts. He's a firefighter, paramedic in real life, and he has a business partner where they go around to schools and businesses around the country to do Stop the Bleed campaigns in the event of an emergency, which we know will happen. So I wanted to give him his flowers, and his beautiful wife, Christina. Giselle, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. I'm going to ask that you all follow her. Her information has been up the whole show. Get serious about your credit health. Get serious about the people that you're hanging around. Get serious about the education that you're putting into your mind. Get serious about the things that you're putting into your body, and get serious about your relationship with whomever you call that person that I call source, right? All praise is due to the Most High, who always causes us to triumph, and those are big facts. So we're gonna get out of here. A little leaven at the whole lump. I read that somewhere. But when you have a little bit of knowledge, like a mustard seed, right? It's going to grow into some phenomenal things. So you all be well today. Giselle, is there anything that you would like to say before we get out of here? Is there, give us a shout out from your own words for being a part of the show, so that I can have that on my hashtag Giselle Curiel, hashtag mompreneur, hashtag mother turned mogul. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Giselle. And we're going to let your voice be the last one that we'll hear, other than my cheesy song that I'm going to put some music to. So Giselle, the mic is yours, and then we're going to get out of here.
Well, thank you. I want to thank everyone that that is listening. I want to thank you. I want to thank LP for the great job that you guys are doing. This is something that the community definitely needs. The information that you guys are sharing is information that can change lives. And when you realize that only by listening to the right information you can change your life, you're on the road to success. So I want to thank everyone once again. And I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to be by your side. May God, or whoever your Most High is, be with you and bless everything you guys touch. Thank you again.
We'll see y'all next time on the Shet Show. We'll see y'all next time on the Shet Show. See y'all later.